Hi guys, Harry here from the Art Gear Guide. Thank you very much for joining me today. As you can see here, I've got another review for you, and this time it is the Koh-I-Noor Woodless Watercolor Pencils, or as they call them, the Progresso Aquarell Woodless Colored Sticks. Now, I've done a review. I'll put a link for these down below. I've done a review for the Woodless Colored Pencils that Koh-I-Noor also make, and I really got on well with those. They're really nice pencils, and the thing is, even though they're woodless and a lot of people probably wouldn't put them down as like fine art tools, they do have a light fast rating on them, and these are the same, and I'll get round to showing you that in a second. But as you can see here, this is a 48 set. This is the largest set that they do in this woodless watercolor range. They do a set of 12 and 24 as well, in this 48 set. I don't make any secrets of the fact that I am a huge fan of Koh-I-Noor products. For the pure and simple reason is that they kind of like give you the best of all worlds. All right, they're not exactly what you would call fine art colored pencils. I'm talking about the likes of the polycolor that they do. But their products are well priced. They are high quality. They do have light fast ratings. They may not be the highest light fast ratings that you can get, but they do have light fast. They have light fasted a lot of their products. And the Progresso Aquarell are no exception to that rule, like I said. So let's get into the actual review. So as you can see here, it's a pretty small tin. When you open it up, it's not kind of it's not laid out like your standard 48 set. You can see here it's kind of like got this little diagonal thing going on. But as you can see here, there's little flaps here at the side to lift up your trays. There's two trays in here. This is the first layer of colors that you would be presented with on this 48 set. Sorry. And when you lift up the first tray, then you have all these greens, your earth tones and greys in the bottom set. Now, the set itself, as a set of 48, when you lift it up, it's quite heavy. And that's because the actual pencils, because that's what they are, they're pencils, they're not crayons. When a lot of people see these, they kind of think that, and I did myself as well, think that because they're woodless, that they're more along the same line as a crayon would be, something like the Neo Color 2 or something like that. But they're not. They are quite hard, and so they do have the same type of core as, say, the Koh-I-Noor Mondeluz. When I say the same type of core, I mean in terms of hardness, not in terms of the ingredients, because I don't know that. I'm not 100% sure if the ingredient in this Progresso Aquarell is the same as the ingredients in the Mondeluz. I very much doubt it, because the Mondeluz is a higher level art product than this. So I highly doubt it. But like I say, it's the same type in terms of hardness, the core strength. There is, as you can see here, all of the actual pencils have got this like silver lacquer. It's not paper, it's like a lacquer. You can't really peel it off, but it does sharpen. It just comes straight off whenever you're sharpening. The barrel, so there's not really a core size, as the entirety of it is a core. So the barrel size is 7.3 millimeters. As you can see here, like I say, the grey body of the pencil is like a lacquered protection. At the very beginning of the barrel, there is a barcode. Then it says Koh-I-Noor. After that, it says the name of the pencil, which is the Progresso Aquarell. After that, there is a number. It's 8780 / and then a number. That number, all the pencils in this range have this 8780, which will obviously correspond to the fact that the pencil is a Progresso Aquarell. and then the number after that is the pigment number. Also here on the end of the pencil you can see a star rating, and that is the light fast rating. Now over on the Art Gear Guide, on the written review, I will have, out of the 48 pencils, how many have got 5 stars, 5 stars being the highest light fast and 1 star being the lowest light fast. So I'll have the I think it's 5 stars, it's either 5 or 4 stars. I've got it over in the written review in any case, the full list of all the colors that are at the highest end of the light fast spectrum and at the lower end, and let you know exactly how many pencils within the range are covered by that. Yeah, it is 5 stars. So 5 stars is the highest, 1 star is the lowest. I have done some artwork with these. It was just something quite simple and easy. I'm not the best artist when it comes to watercolor or watercolor pencils, but I wanted to try and show these pencils, demonstrate these pencils, and hopefully in the artwork show you the strength of the pigment that comes through in these. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of a demonstration now as well on some watercolor paper. So while I'm doing this, you'll be able to see a swatch. I'm showing you now a swatch that I completed with the pencils. So you can see the swatch dry, and then you can see what it looks like once everything is activated. And the pigment strength is really, really good. I had no problems whatsoever. And another thing as well, when sharpening with these pencils, they sharpen remarkably well as well. You can get a really, really fine point on them. And although they're, say, like harder than, say, like a water-soluble crayon, how you would expect a water-soluble crayon to be, they're not to the point where they're dead brittle and they're going to break on you or anything like that. So you don't have any issues like that. A welder, say, if you dropped them from a great height, it would just be like it is for any pencil, in that it would probably shatter. So it's just a case of looking after them, just as you would do with any of your pencils. So I'm going to show you here a couple of tests with the pencils that I've chosen here, and I'm going to do and I'm using some Strathmore watercolor paper for this test as well. So this is so I'll zoom in a second once I get some color down here, but I'm doing quite a light application of color. I'm just going to put a couple of layers down here so that we get a nice flow of color once we activate it. So we've got a red there. Now there is no pigment name on the barrels, but Koh-I-Noor do have a color chart with all the pigment names on it, and obviously because you've got the number on the barrel here, the number will line up with the names that are on the color chart. I know that means having to go off and look for the names, because I know a lot of people like to have the names, and I know it can be a little bit time consuming, a little bit of a pain to do that, but nonetheless they do have the names. So I suppose at the end of the day it's better than no name whatsoever, no pigment name whatsoever. But as you can see here, I'm just putting lots of color down. There's a little bit of crumbling going on there, but now I'm putting a little bit of heavier pressure down because I want to show you when you activate these that there's not too much in the way of pencil strokes underneath it. A lot of the time when you use watercolor pencils, you're going to have a little bit of pencil lines underneath it once you activate it with water, and sometimes the lower quality watercolor pencils will retain those pencil marks underneath the direction that the pencil has gone in. The mark of a good watercolor pencil is that all of the pigment disappears or dissolves, so to speak, to give you paint. So there you can see there that red. Now this blue. Just let me zoom in a little bit here for you. Yellow. You can see there the strength of the pigment is really, really nice. Really nice indeed. And now we'll go on to the green. And as you can see there, there's no pencil marks underneath it or anything like that. Every single bit of pigment has turned into watercolor, which is what it should do. Like I was saying earlier on, lower quality watercolor pencils, you'll still have your watercolor, you'll still have your pencil strokes underneath it. Which I know some people like that effect, and if you like that effect, that's absolutely fine. But another thing that you can do is if you've got something like this little palette here that I use all the time, I've got a link for it down below. I think anybody that uses watercolor pencils, watercolor crayons, anything at all like that, this little palette allows you to mix your colors on this plastic palette without it. I know you can do that on paper, but the thing about doing it on paper, on a scrap piece of paper, and then lifting it off, it will dry into the paper eventually and you lose some of it. Whereas on this plastic thing, you can keep it as long as you want. So I've got this yellow, and all you do is rub your pigment across, and then this nice blue here. It's kind of like a coarse texture. I've done a review of this palette. I'll have a link for it down below. You can go across and take a little look at the review if you like. And I'll have some links where you can go across and buy yourself one if you want as well. Okay, so that's that. All you got to do is get some water. Just mix the pigments up. Now you can see you get this really nice green. And so what this does is, obviously, it gives you, with a range of 48 colors, it allows you to mix even more colors than's originally in the tin. And plus also, it allows you to do wet on wet techniques, which you couldn't ordinarily do really with watercolor pencils, because sometimes that can wreck the core of the pencil. So I'm just putting a bit of water down here on this pad, and then you can just lift a bit of color and start doing your wet on wet techniques. It's a really nice little tool, but it just adds a little bit of versatility to watercolor pencils of any kind, not just the Koh-I-Noor pencils here. But as you can see here, the strength of the pigment in these Koh-I-Noor Progresso Aquarell pencils are just beautiful. Really, really nice. And as you can see, as I showed you earlier on there in the swatch, the color selection that they have here in this 48 set is a really nice overall palette as well. Okay, so that's really all there is to say really about these pencils. I thoroughly enjoyed using them. I was able to get really rich colors whenever I was doing the artwork that I did. That's why I used a lot of the oranges and the yellows. I thought that would best kind of like show the strength of the pigments in the pencils. I also have a page up with different photographs taken from various different sections of this artwork, so you can go across and like click on the image, enlarge it, and take a better look at it yourself to inspect it and see whether you think it would be good enough for the paper you're using or something like that. I also have a speed drawing up of it as well. You can go across, take a look at it. Over on the Art Gear Guide in the written review, I also have obviously the prices of the sets and links to where you can get them. So if you're interested in this, if this is something that you think you might be interested in, make sure that you take a look at all the different things that I've put up to give you a really good indication of what these pencils are like. And I always say this, check other reviews as well. Don't just take my word for it on a certain product. I think it's important that you, before you go and spend any money on an art product, I think it's important that you get a lot of different people's opinions. I know a lot of people have come to trust my opinion, and I can't tell you how much that means to me, but it's still always good to take a look at other reviewers and see what they're saying about the product as well. Anyway, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. The links for all those different social media sites will be down below. If you haven't already, I put a review up of the Monarch Black Widow pencils. I'm doing a giveaway of three 48 sets. I'll have a link down below to that video just in case you're not aware of it. But if you want to take part in that giveaway, the link will be down below. You can go across and enter yourself into it. The giveaway will finish. The winner will be announced on the 30th of September. Sorry, 30th of September. So if you are interested in that, by all means, go ahead and put your name down or put some comment down in the video. If you watch the video, you'll have all the details of how to enter it. I thoroughly enjoyed these Koh-I-Noor Woodless Watercolor Pencils, very much like I did with the Woodless Colored Pencils. And you guys already know how I feel about the Koh-I-Noor Polycolor Pencils. When Koh-I-Noor brought out that 144 set of the Polycolor, it was just amazing. I love using those pencils, and like I said at the beginning of the review, the price point for the vast majority of their products is perfect. I don't think it's too expensive, and they're not super cheap where they're going to end up giving you cheap products. It's not like that at all. I think these types of pencils here, the Woodless Watercolor Pencils, given that there is light fast information on them, although not all of the pencils, it's not like 90% of the pencils are 5-star or anything like that. But given the light fast ratings on them and the quality of the pigment, I think a lot of these pencils would be excellent for a lot of different people. Crafters, adult coloring book enthusiasts, watercolorists, for detail and stuff like that, because when you sharpen these, you can get a really super fine point on them, and it's quite rigid. It's not, it's not going to snap or break. But that's it, guys. Anyway, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you all again in the next video, and be safe. Bye.